I wanted to introduce you, or maybe you already know about them, to the Tombow Pens. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right or not. Someone showed me how to use these a long time ago, and I didn't have a use for them for a really long time until now, and I just love them. So they have a pointy end and a brush end, and I'm going to be working on my beautiful paisley design. And I just wanted to show you how these can be used. I outlined the leaves. I already did the leaves, but I outlined the leaves with a purple with the thin end. And now I'm filling in with a brush end. There are little white spots remaining that I'm going to go in and fill in later because I find that the little white spots do make a difference. So I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to fill all of this in. And there it is. Looks great. Now I'll go in with my darker purple, and I'm going over every little white sliver that I can find. It makes a big difference in the design when you get rid of all the white, and the reason why is, I think, because your eye automatically goes to the little white spots, and it's a little bit distracting. It makes for a less harmonious design. So that's why I'm going in and getting all of those little white spots. There it is. It's all finished. This is the best part. So I'm going to put a little water on there with a brush, and I just love the way this looks. It's just so beautiful. That's why I like using these pens. You put on the color, and then you can go in and do this watercolor effect over it. And the colors are so bright and beautiful. I love the way it comes out. Now, I am using good quality paper. This is Fabriano. It's not the best quality, but it's good quality watercolor paper. That makes a huge difference too. So here's my beautiful purple, all finished. Next, I'm going to use this pumpkin color on the inside of the paisley. It's always a good idea to cover up your work with a piece of paper. It's a great way to avoid any kind of unwanted marks on the paper. So I try to make a habit of putting that under my hand when I'm working. And I did the same thing here. I did the outline with a thin end of the marker, and then I'm filling in with the brush. Alright, now I'm going to use this red on that border. Doing the same thing, I drew the little outline with the thin end, and then I filled in with a brush, and I'm using this beautiful moss green on the dots. I just love picking out the colors. Of course, you have to have every single color of the pens to make sure that you can get the color that you want. But there are certain colors I really like using, so those are the ones that I bought. And I'm just adding the water on there. That looks so pretty. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but of course you want to let that dry. It does dry very fast. Because I'm using watercolor paper, it does dry pretty fast. But you just want to make sure it's totally dry before you go on to the next step because you don't want to smudge something. Now, I couldn't decide which color I was going to use for that little white border, so I decided to go ahead and do the scalloped edge next. So I know that I want to use this sort of a blue-green color for that. Again, I'm going in with the thin part of the pen and doing my outline, and then I'll go in with a brush and fill in all of the shapes. I love these pens. They're really nice colors, and I just love the way they look when you put the water on them. They're probably not the only pens that do that. They are the only pens I know of that do that. So look at my design. It's looking great, isn't it? So I decided on that beautiful moss green for the border, and just gonna fill that in. It doesn't need an outline because it's already kind of outlined with the other colors, so I'm just filling it in, and then I'm going to put the water on both the scallop and on the dots, the scallops, and on that little border. I try very hard when I'm putting the water on not to touch the color that's next to whatever I'm putting the water on because it will bleed into the color. So I just try to be careful and not touch the edge. And there it is, it's finished, and I'm just so happy with the way it looks, and I hope you will try these pens out. They're awesome. I hope I inspired you.